In this video, we are going to see the top sorting algorithms that you can implement using the Java programming language. While you're watching this video, please make sure that you pause this video and practice on your own so that on different inputs you get different outputs, and based on the logic of the Java program, you clearly understand the purpose of writing the Java program. If you are new to Java programming language, then you can watch my other Java tutorial playlist that I have made for you, which contains several videos that will help you to understand the basics about the Java programming language. You can also access the timestamps I have given in the description section in order to jump to a particular Java program. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Java program to sort an array in the ascending order. So guys, the elements will be sorted in such a way that is the smallest element will appear on the extreme left. So this is the meaning of sorting an array in the ascending order, an array of elements which is of the data type that is numbers. So let's say for example, we have this original array that is 5, 2, 8, 7, 1. So these are the numbers which are not in ascending order. We need to sort them in the ascending order. So after the array is sorted in the ascending order, as you can see, these are the numbers in this sequence, that is 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. So the smallest number will be on the extreme left, then the next small number will be on the right, then the next small number will be again on the right, and so on. So this is the ascending order that we want to have using our Java program. So guys, let us switch to Eclipse IDE over here and write the program in order to sort an array. We will be basically using the two loops in order to sort the array in the ascending order. So first of all, we will be defining our array. So int array, and then we have open and close square brackets, and then we will initialize this array. We will take the same example over here. So 5, 2, 8, 7, 1. We will provide these numbers over here. 5, 2, 8, 7, 1. Guys, you can also use the scanner or buffered reader classes in order to take the input from the user and assign those input to the array over here, and the process will be same, the algorithm will be same in order to sort the array. So basically over here what we are going to do is, first of all we will print the original array over here so that before sorting we will be able to check what is the content of the array. So we have the print statement over here, and I will say original array and then colon over here, and then we will be using the for loop in order to iterate through all the elements of the array. So inside the for loop we have int I, it is equal to 0, I less than array followed by dot, and then we have something called as length in order to find the number of elements in this array, and then we have I plus plus, and then inside this loop we will be having our print statement. This time we will be using the print method instead of println so that we get all the elements on one line. So basically what we have to do over here is we have to refer to this array followed by open and close square brackets, and inside the brackets we are providing this I variable which is iterating through all the elements inside the array, followed by the space character so that all the elements can be space separated. Now after this we are going to have our algorithm in order to sort the array. So guys, we will be having two for loops over here. The first for loop will be the outer for loop, in which case int I is 0 and then I less than the array length. So we have array dot length over here and then I plus plus. So outer loop goes through each and every element starting from the index 0, and inside this we will be having another loop, that is the inner loop, in which case int j, it will be equal to I plus 1, which means that I will be 5 initially and the jth value will be I plus 1, which means 2 initially. So every time using the outer loop will be fixed on one particular number, and the inner loop, that is j, will go to each and every number. So first 2 will be checked, and we need to check whether this 2 is it smaller than the first element, that is 5 or not. If yes, then we need to replace them, and then again it will go to 8 and it will check whether this 8 is less than the first element or not, in which case it will be 2 after replacing this 2, and so on. We have to check all the elements one by one. So over here j is equal to I plus 1, and then j goes up to the array length, that is array dot length over here, and then j plus plus. Now guys, inside this we need to check if this array of j, which means the second element, is it smaller than array of I? So we will put the condition over here. Array of j, is it less than array of I? So in this case, if array of j is less than array of I, which means that the smallest number should come first over here, we need to interchange the numbers over here. So what we can do is we can have the temporary variable. So I'll just define the temp variable over here, in which case it is 0 right now. So what I will do is I will simply swap the numbers over here. So temp, it is equal to array of I in this case, and then we need to put array of I, it is equal to array of j. So we are just swapping the numbers over here. We are assigning the array of j value to the array of I value, and then again back the array of j value should be given the value of array of I, which was stored in the temporary variable over here. So array of j, it will be equal to temp. So guys, this we have already seen previously while creating the program in order to swap two numbers, and this is the way we will get the smallest number on the leftmost side. So using these lines of code over here, we can simply sort the array of elements in the ascending order. Guys, this is not one of the most optimum way in order to sort the array. It does the job of sorting the array when you are having the small number of elements in your array. In the upcoming videos, we are going to see the optimum ways in order to sort the arrays in the ascending and descending order. So you should subscribe to this channel, that is Programming for Beginners, in order to get more helpful videos about the different Java programs. And now what we will do is, after this for loop, we will simply print the content of the array, which can be done by using these lines of code. So I will just copy these lines of code over here and I'll paste this over here, and I'll say sorted array in this case. So it is sorted array, and then I goes from 0 up to array of length, and then we are going to access all the elements using the array of I element. And now let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, original array, it is 52871, and then sorted array is coming on the same line. What we can do is we can provide the /n character over here so that it comes on the different line. And one more thing that we can do is we can use the print method over here so that the numbers are listed on the same line where the label is present. So over here we will use print statement, and over here as well in the original array we will be using the print method. Let me just save this file and try running this code once again. So as you can see, original array, it is 52871, which is not in the ascending order. Now we are getting the sorted array, that is 12578. Let me just put another example over here. We'll change the content of the array. So let's say 32, 45, 6, 87, and then 12, and then let's say we have 1. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, these are the numbers 32, 45, 6, 87, 12, 1, and we are getting the sorted array, that is 1, 6, 12, 32, 45, 87. So guys, as you can see, these are the numbers that are in ascending order, and every number that is on the right is greater than all the numbers that are present on the left, and that is why it is called as the ascending order of the elements. So guys, in this way we can easily write the Java program in order to sort the array in the ascending order. Java program to sort numbers using bubble sort algorithm. Now guys, the bubble sort is the simplest sorting algorithm that works by repeatedly swapping the adjacent elements if they are in the wrong order. So basically we are going to repeatedly take adjacent elements and check whether they are in the wrong order or not and swap them. Now this algorithm is suitable for small data sets, since due to its time and space complexities, we are going to use this bubble sort algorithm on the small data set. So for example, as you can see, this is the input array. We are going to have 5, 1, 4, 2, 8 as the unsorted order of the array of elements, and we are going to sort them in such a way that all the elements are in the ascending order. So how this algorithm works? So basically we are going to start with the first index as I and the second index, that is j, and we are going to compare both these elements, whether this one is it less than 5. If yes, then we are going to swap these elements between each other, and then the second element, which will be 5 in this case, will be checked with the third element, which is 4, and if 5 is greater than 4, then again we will swap, and so on. So ultimately guys, after the first iteration of the outer loop, the highest number will be present on the last index over here, and in this way we are going to have all the elements in the ascending order inside this array. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE in order to write the bubble sort algorithm program. So first of all, we are going to define the array of elements over here. So array of integer values, we are going to take the same example over here. So over here, as you can see, we have taken this example. I'll simply copy and paste this over here as the content of the array. Now what we are going to do is, first of all, we are going to find the length of this array so that we don't have to find the length of the array again and again while we are iterating through our loops. So basically it is equal to array followed by dot, and then we have something called as length property over here. So this will give us the length of the entire array, that is the number of elements present inside this array. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to have the outer for loop in such a way that int I, it is equal to 0 and I goes up to less than the length, that is we have already found this length over here, and then I plus plus. So basically we are going to iterate through all the elements right from the first position to the last position in order to sort them in the ascending order. Now inside this, what we are going to have is, we are going to have another loop, and we are going to have the jth index over here. So j, it goes from 1 up to j less than length of the array minus I. So we have to take the length of the array minus I, and then it will go to the next element, that is j plus plus. Now guys, why do we need length minus I over here? That's because after the first iteration of the outer loop, what will happen is, we will have the highest element at the end of the array over here. So in the second iteration, we don't want that last integer to be taken in order to compare with the other elements, or else it will result in a non-optimized code over here, and that is why we are limiting the index of the j up to which it should go whenever we are traversing the array of elements over here. Now what we will do is, over here we are going to have the if condition. Now I, it is equal to 0 and j is equal to 1 over here, which means j is at the second element right now. So what I am going to do is, I will check whether array of j minus 1, which means the previous element over here, is it greater than the current element, that is j, or not. So I will do over here greater than array of j. So in this case, is 5 greater than 1? We are checking this condition. So if yes, then 5 needs to be swapped with this one element over here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have the integer temp variable over here, and I will say array of j, which means I am storing the array of j value, that is 1, inside this temporary variable, and then I will assign this value, that is 5, that is array of j minus 1, to array of j over here. So we have array of j, it is equal to array of j minus 1, and then the temporary variable which is having the element 1, we need to assign it to the array of j minus 1 over here. So we will do array of j minus 1, it is equal to temp. So guys, this we had seen previously as well. How do we swap the two elements? By using a temporary variable over here. So what will happen is, in the first iteration of the outer for loop, 5 will be swapped with this one element over here. So it will be 1, 5, 4, 2, 8. Next time again, the j plus plus will make the value of j as 2 now, and then what we will do is, array of j minus 1, which is 5 right now after swapping in the previous iteration, it will be compared with array of j, which is 4 right now, and again it will be swapped. So it will be 4 and then 5 over here in this case, and then again it will be compared with 2, so 5 will come over here, and then 5 will be compared with 8 finally, in which case 5 is not greater than 8, so the control flow will not go inside this if loop, and since we have reached the end of the loop, it will also come out of this inner loop, and then i's value will become 1 right now, and then in the end we have placed the highest number at the end of the array, and in this way the bubble sort algorithm will work. So guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. And before running this code, we have to print this content of the array as well. So what I will do is simply we will have another for loop where int I, it is equal to 0 and I goes up to the length of the array over here, and then we have I plus plus. Now I want to print the content of the array. So what I will do is I will simply use the print function over here. So instead of println, we will use the print statement so that we get the content of the entire array in a single line separated by space characters. So we have sorted array it is, and then what I will do is I will use array and then the index, that is I, and then separated by space characters over here. So we have space character. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are getting multiple sorted array labels over here. So I'll just remove this label outside of this print statement. So I'll just remove this and I have print statement over here once again. So we will have the print statement over here and I'll say sorted array over here and this inverted comma as well. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, sorted array, it is 1 2 4 5 8. So we are getting the sorted array. I will also print the unsorted array that we had previously taken over here. So I'll provide unsorted array over here, unsorted array, and then again we are printing the unsorted array first, and then after that we are going to have the sorted array. So before this, what I will do is I will simply have the println statement so that the sorted array is printed on the new line over here. So as you can see, unsorted array, it is 5 1 4 2 8, and the sorted array we are getting as 1 2 4 5 8. Let me just change the content of this array. So I'll provide some other numbers over here. So let's say 32, 12, 34, 56, 31, and then 23, and then 1. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, this is the unsorted array that we have provided as the input in this array, and now we are getting the sorted array as 1 12 23 31 32 34 56. So guys, this is the way you can write a couple of for loops over here in order to use the bubble sort algorithm, which will help in order to sort the array of integers based on your requirements. Java program to sort numbers using selection sort algorithm. Now guys, the selection sort algorithm sorts an array by repeatedly finding the minimum element considering the ascending order from the unsorted part and putting it at the beginning. So guys, the algorithm maintains two subarrays in a given array. So the first subarray, which is already sorted, and the remaining subarray that was unsorted over here. Now in every iteration of the selection sort, the minimum element considering ascending order from the unsorted subarray is picked and moved to the sorted subarray. So guys, what is the logic over here? So let's say for example, we have this array of elements over here, that is 64, 25, 12, 22, 11. So basically we are going to fix a pointer to the first element initially, that is 64, and we will compare all the other elements using the inner loop, that is from the second element up to the last element, and check that which is the minimum element from all these elements, and if there is any minimum element which is less than the first element which was already fixed, then this first element will be replaced by the minimum element. So over here, as you can see, 64 is the first element which is fixed at the first position, and we are going to find the minimum element out of all these four elements over here, and we are finding that 11 is the minimum element. So is 11 less than 64? Yes, in this case. So we have swapped these two elements, that is 11 and 64. So 11 comes over here in the first position and 64 goes in the last position. And in the second iteration, we are going to fix this element, that is 25 over here, and we are going to check the other elements to check which is the minimum elements, and so on. We are going to continue our selection sort algorithm. So guys, let us move to Eclipse IDE over here and write the Java program for the selection sort algorithm. So first of all, we will have the array of elements over here. So int array, it is equal to, I'm going to take the same example, that is this particular array of elements over here. So I'll just paste this array of elements, and now we are going to find the length of this array. So it is simply array followed by dot, and then we have length over here. So we have length property, which is going to provide us the length of the array of elements over here. And now we will be having our selection sort algorithm. So first of all, we will have the outer for loop. So int I, it is going from 0 up to I less than length minus 1. So we don't have to consider the last element, we just need to go up to this element, that is the length minus 1 over here, and then we have I plus plus over here, and then inside this we will have another for loop, in which case it is int j, it is going from I plus 1. So guys, basically the first element, it will be represented by this I value. So first element will be fixed, and the jth value should go from the next element, that is I plus 1 over here, up to the last element, that is the length. So over here I will say I plus 1, and then it will go up to j less than length in this case, and then we have j plus plus over here. Now inside this we need to check which is the minimum element. So guys, before this inner for loop we have to define another variable over here. So I will say minimum index in this case. So we have minimum index as the I index over here. So we will say minimum index as I. So now we will compare all the other elements that is represented by the jth index with the first element that is already given as the minimum index over here. So what I will do is, we will simply have the if condition, and then we will say array of min index, that is this particular thing. We will copy this and paste this over here, which means array of min index right now is 64 value. Is it greater than array of jth value over here? So jth value is I plus 1, that is 25 right now. If yes, then what we will do is, we will update the minimum index right now. So minimum index should be the jth value. So over here I will say minimum index over here, it is equal to j value. So basically minimum index will be updated to the jth value, that is I plus 1, which will be representing this element, that is 25 right now. And then again what will happen is, the j plus plus will make the value of j go to this particular element, that is 12. So is array of min index right now, which will be the value of 25, is it greater than 12? Yes, in this case. So 12 will be minimum index now, and then so on. It will be compared in such a way that we go up to the end of the loop, and ultimately we will find that 11 is the minimum index right now, and then we will come out of this for loop. So after coming out of this for loop, what we will have to do is, whatever minimum index that we found, we need to replace it by the first index that is represented by this ith value over here. So we will have the temporary variable over here, and then we will say it is equal to array of min index right now. So array of min index is being stored in the temporary variable, and then we will say array of min index over here. So I'll simply paste this min index. It will be equal to array of I. So array of I is 64 right now, and this 64 will replace that number which is currently at the min index right now. And then what we will do is, array of I, it will be equal to temp in this case. So guys, we have successfully swapped the two numbers over here between the min index and the I variables over here. So let me just save this file, and before we can run this code, what we have to do is, we have to print the array of elements in the sorted order. So again we will have the for loop over here. It goes from int I, it is equal to 0, and then I is less than length, and then we have I plus plus over here. We will have the print statement. I'll remove this ln part, and then we will have array of I, and then separated by the space characters, and before this we will be having our print statement saying that sorted array. So we have sorted array over here followed by colon, and then again we will be printing the unsorted array over here. So I'll say unsorted array, we have unsorted array, it will be printed with the help of this for loop. So I'll just copy this and paste this over here. So unsorted array, and then we will also get the sorted array, and in between both the array elements what we will have is we will have the println statement, so that both the labels are on separate lines. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are getting unsorted array. It is this the content of the array elements that we have already defined over here in our program, and the sorted array it is 11, 12, 22, 25, 64, which is in the ascending order. Guys, let us take another example now over here. Let's say I provide 100, then we have 123, 34, 23, 45, 21, 11, 9, and then 65 over here. And guys, one more thing, I'll remove this ln part over here so that the label and the content of the array elements are on the same line. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, unsorted array, we are getting this array that we have already defined in our program over here, and the sorted array we are getting all the elements in the sorted order 9, 11, 21, 23, 34, 45, 65, 100, 123. So guys, in this way we can easily use the selection sort in order to find the minimum element for the sub array over here, which is in the unsorted form, and then place it in the correct position, and ultimately we will find the positions of all the elements in such a way that the entire array will be sorted in the ascending order. Java program to sort numbers using insertion sort algorithm. So guys, the insertion sort is a simple sorting algorithm that works similar to the way you sort playing cards in your hands. Now guys, insertion sort is one of the efficient sorting algorithms that you can use for the small data sets in order to sort the array of elements having the integers. Now guys, the array is virtually split into a sorted and an unsorted part. Values from the unsorted part are picked and placed at the correct position in the sorted part. So for example, as you can see, we have this array that is 12, 11, 13, 5 and 6. So guys, initially we start from the first two elements over here, that is 12 and then 11. So in the first pass, what will happen is this 12, it will be compared with the second element that is 11, and if this 12 is greater than 11, so both these elements will be swapped over here. So 11 and 12 are being swapped, and then again it will be checked whether this 11 is it smaller than the previous element. So since it is the first element now and there is no previous element with which the element can be compared, so the first pass is completed. Now in the second pass, this 12 and 13 is taken into consideration. So is 13, is it less than the previous element that is 12? No, in this case. So second pass is also completed. In the third pass, we will take this 13 and 5. So is 5 less than the previous element that is 13? Yes, in this case. So 13 will be assigned to this fourth position over here. So 13 is assigned over here. 5 goes over here. Now is 5 less than the previous element that is 12? Yes, in this case. So 5 and 12 are again replaced over here. So 5 comes to the second position. And then is 5 less than the previous element that is 11? Yes, in this case. So both the elements are swapped. So 5 and 11 are being displayed over here. And then again the 5 is being compared with the previous position. But since there is no other position over here, 5 remains over here, and we have completed the third pass over here. So if you can see, after this third pass, 5, 11, 12, all these are in the sorted order. Again the unsorted array over here, that is 13 and then 6, it will be compared again, and in the fourth pass, the last element over here, that is 6, it will be compared with the other elements over here, and ultimately it will come to its position in such a way that all the elements are in the ascending order in the array. So guys, this is the way that the insertion sort algorithm will work. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE and check the Java program for the insertion sort algorithm. So first of all, we will define the array of integers. So int array, it is equal to, we will take the same example over here. So I'll simply copy this array of elements and paste this over here. And now what we have to do is we have to find the length of the array. So int length, it is equal to array followed by dot, and then we have length property. So this will return us the length of the array over here. And now we will have our for loop over here. So int I, it is going from the second position. So guys, remember that in the insertion sort, we will start from the second position over here and we will be comparing the previous elements over here. So int I, it is equal to 1 and then I less than the length of the array and then I plus plus over here. Now guys, inside this for loop, we will have a temporary variable and we will name it as key over here and assign the value of 11 over here, that is the second element, which is being represented by the ith index. So I will say array of I over here. So initially we will take this as the key and we will compare it with the previous elements over here. Now what we will do is we will have another pointer, that is int j, it is equal to I minus 1, that is the previous element. So right now the key value is 11 and array of j, it will be pointing to this element, that is 12 over here. Now what we will have to do is we will be using the while loop inside this for loop. So in the while loop we will be having our condition whether j is greater than or equal to 0. That's because we are going to decrement the value of j one at a time, and we will check whether this key, which is having the value of array of I right now, is it smaller than the jth value or not. So basically we are going to check whether array of j over here, so j is what? I minus 1, which is 12. So array of j is 12 right now. Is it greater than key over here, which is 11? And if yes, so what will happen is, what we will do is this 12 needs to be assigned to this second position over here. So we will do array of j plus 1 right now. So j plus 1 will be what? Since j it is equal to 12, j plus 1 will be at the second position over here. It will be equal to array of j over here. So 12 will be assigned to this array of j plus 1 over here. And then what we will do is j it is equal to j minus 1, so that the control flow will come over here once again. So is j greater than or equal to 0? No, in this case, since j value goes before this element, that is in the minus 1 index over here. So the control flow should come out of this for loop. So after coming out of this for loop, what we are getting is at the first position we already have 12. At the second position we also have 12. That's because of this particular line of code over here. So we simply have to assign this value, that is 11, which is present inside this key variable, to this array of j over here. Now since we have done j equals j minus 1, so j value is minus 1 right now. So we simply have to do array of j plus 1 in this case. So it will be j plus 1. It will be the value of key right now over here. So guys, to understand this algorithm once again, the outer for loop, it is having int I, it is equal to 1 up to the length. So basically we will be going from this second position, that is 11, up to the last element over here, that is 6. And now inside this we are having a key variable over here, which is being assigned array of I. So basically key value is 11 right now. J it is equal to I minus 1. So since we are comparing the previous elements, so j value will be at the first element right now, which will be 12 right now. So is j greater than or equal to 0? Yes, in this case, since over here it is j equal to 0. And is array of j, which means 12, is it greater than key, which is right now 11, since we have assigned the array of I to key over here? Yes, in this case. So array of j plus 1, it is equal to array of j, which means the array of j plus 1 over here, it will be assigned the value of array of j, which is 12 right now. So the array will be 12 and 12. So the 11 value is gone from here right now, but j equal to j minus 1 is done. So currently j value was 0 and j minus 1 will make it as minus 1 over here, and the control flow will come back again over here. Is j greater than or equal to 0? No, in this case. So since it is no, array of j plus 1, which is minus 1 right now, which will make it as minus 1 plus 1, it is equal to 0. So array of 0, it will be key over here, and key was 11. So 11 will come over here. So we have 11, 12, 13, 5, 6. So in the first iteration, we have got the first two elements sorted over here. In the second iteration, I value will be 2 right now. So it will be 13 over here. Again, key value will be equal to array of I, which is equal to 13. J, it will be equal to I minus 1. So I minus 1 is over here, which will be 12 in this case after the first iteration. So is J greater than or equal to 0? Yes, in this case, array J greater than key over here. So key is 13 and array of J is 12 right now. So no in this case. So J plus 1, it is equal to key, which is already being assigned over here as 13, and so on guys. The other elements will be also compared and it will be sorted in the ascending order. So guys, before running this code over here, we need to print the content of the array. So what we will do is we will have the print statement first of all, and we will say sorted array over here. So we have sorted array colon, and then we will be having our for loop. It will be int I is equal to 0, I less than length, and then we have I plus plus over here, and then again we will be having our print statement. In this case, we will be printing the content of the array of I and then followed by the space character in order to separate them using the space characters over here. I'll simply copy these lines of code over here so that we can also print the unsorted array over here. So we have unsorted array, and again this will print the unsorted array over here, and then before this we will be having a println statement so that both the content of the arrays are printed on the different lines. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, the unsorted array, it is 12, 11, 13, 5 and 6. That is what we had provided over here in the program, and then we have the sorted array as 5, 6, 11, 12, 13. So guys, in this way we can easily use the insertion sort in order to sort the array of elements in the ascending order. Now guys, we will change the content of the array in order to check whether it works for the other content of the array over here. So we will say 43, 42 and then 15, we have 16, 7, 4, 23, and then we have 109, and then we have 104, and then we have 1, and then we have 2 over here. Let me just save this file and try running this code now with this random number of elements over here in the array. So as you can see, we have the sorted array over here. We have 1, 2, 7, 15, 16, 42, 43, 104, 109, 423. So all the elements over here are in the ascending order. So guys, this is the way we can write our insertion sort algorithm using the Java program. So guys, that's it in this video. Please make sure that you practice on your own so that on different inputs you get to learn and get the different output. So we have come to the conclusion of this video about the Java programs. Hopefully you have got enough knowledge about the various Java programs that we have seen in this video. So continue learning and continue practicing. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.